Hello there. Thank you for joining me on AMOI Unplugged. I am Chioma Ikejani. Today's package is a special one. It features a project that has been termed too big to fail. Well, there is good news because this project is in the process of resuscitation. I'm sure you're wondering, well, I won't let the cat out of the bag. Just keep watching and don't go away. It's still AMOI Unplugged, exploring diversity.
Established in 1979 and built on 24,000 hectares of land, with 67 kilometers of road network, the Ajaokuta Steel Company, the largest steel mill in Nigeria, is located in Ajaokuta, Kogi State. Although its establishment held a lot of promise for Nigeria, its incompletion has remained a major challenge. 4 decades after, the steel mill company is yet to produce steel. This informed the setup of the Presidential Project Implementation Team by President Muhammadu Buhari to resuscitate the project as part of the economic diversification efforts of the federal government. In line with this, members of the National Assembly, the Senate Committee on Solid Minerals, Mines, Steel Development and Metallurgy, led by the majority and minority leaders of the Senate and the Ministers of Mines and Steel Development, were on a 2-day working visit to Kogi State. The first port of call was a courtesy visit to the Kogi State Government House, where the delegation was received by the Deputy Governor, Chief Edward Onoja, and the Commissioners.
Kogi State is richly blessed with a variety of solid minerals ranging from mineral fuels like coal to metallic minerals like tantalite, columbite, cassiterite, iron ore, and gold. Structural as well as building materials like marble, dolomite, silica sand, granite, clay, feldspar, limestone, and other varieties of industrial materials and minerals. As a matter of fact, only a few out of many of these solid minerals are being fully exploited at the moment. We welcome you to Kogi State, the enormous potential that will come to the nation, but most importantly to Kogi State and her people, when the Ajaokuta Steel Complex and the NIOMCO in Itakpe is fully put on stream, cannot be overemphasized. And with the caliber of persons involved, both at the executive arm of government and the legislature, we are confident that this will come to pass.
Having registered their presence at the Government House, the delegation moved to the National Iron Ore Mining Company, Itakpe. On arrival, the Honorable Minister for Mines and Steel Development, Architect Olamilekan Adegbite, enlightened the pressmen on the importance of the company to Ajaokuta Steel Mill.
National Iron Ore Mining Company is a Siamese twin with Ajaokuta. In the production of steel, iron ore forms like 90 to 95% of the requirements. And at the time Ajaokuta Steel Plant was being sited, this place was considered because we have iron ore deposit there in its purity. What the company does essentially is when they mine the iron ore from the field, they bring it in for beneficiation. The iron ore found there is about 30-33% purity, but they upgrade it to about 65% before sending it to Ajaokuta. So this was a purposely built company to serve Ajaokuta exclusively. And as such, a rail link was built from here into Ajaokuta to serve, because iron ore is a very heavy commodity. So once they mine the iron ore from the hills and the iron ore comes in, it goes into the plants, some processes, and of course, the product, which is now upgraded after beneficiation, is sent via rail to Ajaokuta.
The sole administrator of the company, Augustus Nkechika, spoke as well.
NIOMCO is generally referred to as the heart of the steel industry. And that name is not by accident, it's as a result of the fact that a key component in the production of steel is iron ore. And there's enough here to supply Ajaokuta needs for at least 20 years. And because it's the primary product, which you can now call a raw material for the production of steel, I'll be bold to say that it is not possible for Ajaokuta to function without NIOMCO.
At this point, the Federal Mines Officer in Kogi State, Engineer Florence Diejoma, presented awards to the Honorable Ministers for their commitment and efforts to ensuring that the mines and steel sector operates in its full capacity. Built on over 8,000 hectares of land, the National Iron Ore Mining Company was first established by Decree 19 in April 1971. Then known as the Nigerian Steel Development Authority, it was dissolved by Decree 60 in September 1979. This led to the establishment of 6 companies, including the Associated Mining Company, which was renamed as the National Iron Ore Mining Company in February 1987. The meeting with the management of the National Iron Ore Mining Company started in earnest with the arrival of the members of the National Assembly. The sole administrator welcomed the delegation and highlighted the challenges and the need to revive the company for optimum performance. This was followed by a PowerPoint presentation highlighting the company's mandates, its relevance to Ajaokuta Steel Plant, production history, benefits to the nation, recommendation and way forward. Having concluded the presentation, the Majority Leader of the Senate, Senator Yahaya Abdulahi, who led the delegation, addressed the forum.
Our mission here is on the instruction given by the Senate and Plenary for the leadership to accompany our committee on solid minerals, mines, steel development and metallurgy to Ajaokuta Steel Complex and associated industries. We are starting with NIOMCO because, like the third administrator said, we don't want to start driving a car without an engine. So we thought we should start from here before we see what is there in Ajaokuta. And from the presentations that have been made by the technical staff of the company, it is very clear that already a lot of infrastructure has been put in place. And I assure you that we will have all that is necessary, all the support that we require from the National Assembly will be provided.
As the meeting came to an end, the delegation inspected some of the minerals mined by the company. Then the Minister of State for Mines and Steel Development, Dr. Uchechukwu Oga, spoke on the visit.
For me, the future is bright. First, taking from the presidential visit to Russia. Secondly, the setting up the presidential committee. Thirdly, the Senate visitation. That shows there's passion, there's concern for driving this entire project to see light of the day. So we're working together, putting all the necessary operational framework, making sure that everything, all things are put in proper place to ensure that the project sees the light of day. Both NIOMCO and Ajaokuta, a lot needs to be done, and that is why there is this collaboration That's why you see, for the Senate leader coming here today, the chairman of Senate Committee on Solid Mineral, the minority leader of the Senate is here. So you can see it's a team, power packed, because there's passion, there's a mandate from the president that this steel must work in Nigeria. And I believe with the gathering of everybody, there is hope for the steel sector in Nigeria.
The mine site was next on the agenda. At the site, an official of the company, Engineer Olamilekan, explained the operations of the plant, which is 370 meters above sea level. With the explanations done, the Senate Committee Chairman on Solid Minerals, Mines, Steel Development and Metallurgy, Senator Umar Tanko Al-Makura, bared his mind.
The Senate is really passionate about getting Ajaokuta Steel and Itakpe mill off ground. You know, legislation and legal framework that will ease the reactivation of these factories has to be painstaking. What we are doing at the moment is to gather information and views, not only from the ministry, but from stakeholders who are within the industry, to advise on what they think is the way forward. And what we are doing now, we have lined out a number of activities that will elicit some of this information and necessary facts that will help in fast-tracking the reactivation of these mills. One, in December last year, we had a roundtable where virtually every person within the industry was invited, and we got very valuable and critical information that will guide us in supporting the ministry to reactivate these factories. What is more, the Senate is very much aware of the necessity and the need for these factories to come on board, especially with the President's initiative or idea of diversifying the Nigerian economy through the solid mineral and steel sector. So everything is working very perfectly for this sector.
He also spoke on local content.
The Senate passed the bill of ensuring local content in the industry and virtually every aspect of our national life, particularly very vibrant industries like power, like solid mineral, like agriculture, and the rest of them. With regard to the solid mineral sector, how we intend to bring into operation local content is to ensure that both midstream, downstream and upstream aspect of mineral prospection and exploitation is given the necessary support. We will do that by ensuring a value chain approach towards managing this industry. Once we do that, automatically the local content would have been taken care of, because as you move from the downstream to midstream to upstream, you will find that you'll be providing a lot of job opportunities, creating a lot of wealth through local and indigenous initiatives.
The working visit on the second day was to Ajaokuta Steel Company. The delegation was received by the management of the company, led by the sole administrator, Engineer Sumaila Abdul Akaba.
The concept of engineering generally is universal. Technology and application do not change or get obsolete, they get improved efficiency. In the case of the steel industry, the heart of this plant is the blast furnace. We know that the world is dynamic. If you look at the last 40 years, we have moved from analog to digital to PLCs. Nobody will make an investment in a plant in any form. When you build a factory, that will be over 10 years. So plant of this magnitude, from the design stage, there are provisions for modernization every 10 years. The plant we have here is a brand new plant. So talking about obsolescence do not really exist. The technology of the steel plant is basically the blast furnace. As of today, the major steel production companies in the world use this blast furnace technology because it is rugged, it is simple, it can use low quality iron ore. It's actually very energy efficient. What you do in the manufacturing plant is that a provision you continue to modernize. And luckily for us, in Ajaokuta Steel, we have an enviable workforce, thorough professionals, that in the last 10 years, on monthly basis, these plants are being dry run. It is actually designed to last over 100 years. Ajaokuta sits on 24,000 hectares of land, has 67 kilometer road network. It has about 57 kilometer rail network between the plants to move material from one point to the other. Ajaokuta have a river port, what you call jetty. Ajaokuta has an airstrip. There are 10,000 units of houses in Ajaokuta. Various stages, over 50% is completed, and they are very high quality.
The technical audit report was then presented to the leader of the delegation, Senator Yahaya Abdulahi, who once again pledged the support of the Senate. Done with the meeting, inspection began in earnest with the explanation of the model of the company and the raw materials displayed. Then to the various plants. From one plant to the next are huge machineries waiting to be utilized. But then, with the tour of the facility, one could see that some of the plants are functioning.
The design for Ajaokuta is backward integration. The implication is that it started from the front end. The primary side was never completed. So at a point in time, the company was importing billet from China to feed the mills that are ready to run. They are 100% completed. So at a point in time, we're producing wire rods, etc. But that was not what Ajaokuta is designed for. Ajaokuta is designed to start from the first principle. The implications that were designed to produce liquid steel from iron ore, limestone, bauxite, and coal.
Having gone on a tour of the facility, the Honorable Minister of Mines and Steel Development explains how the resuscitation plan began.
There was the Russia-Africa Summit, that was October last year, 23-24. But besides that, the president actually, because Nigeria was recognized for being what we are, and one of the few countries that was given bilateral at that Russian-Africa Summit. And we were able to sit with President Putin and his team, with President Muhammadu Buhari, and top on his agenda was actually the issue of Ajaokuta, the resuscitation of Ajaokuta. In the past, we've tried a few other methods, concession to the Americans, to some Indian, British, but we felt it's time we went back to the original builders. Ajaokuta itself was built by the Soviet Union, and then essentially it was the Russians and the Ukrainians under the Soviet Union who built this place. I thought, let's go back to those people to come and, of course, bring Ajaokuta to reality. The little percentage that's ready to be completed, and then if there's some other modernization that needs to be done, these were the people best suited to do it. And of course, it was tabled at the bilateral, and President Putin accepted. So we have a government-to-government agreement to resuscitate Ajaokuta. The beauty of it is that I say Nigerian government does not have to spend money. What we're operating here is to get some external funding. We've got pledge funds already from Afrexim Bank, $1 billion, from the Russian Export Center, $450 million. With this kind of funding, we should be able to put the plant up. But there are other, they call it contingent liabilities, things that will fit into Ajaokuta for it to work, about the 14 minerals thereabout that will come in. NIOMCO is one of them. So NIOMCO is being taken care of with part of this package. That's the National Iron Ore Mining Company in Itakpe, which of course will fill this place with the iron ore that is needed. But all other things will be taken care of. That is coming outside this arrangement, and we're getting private entrepreneurs to do that. But the beauty of it is, I say, Ajaokuta will pay for itself in that scheme. We've done a business case. The people here have been very fantastic. We've got some external collaborators as well who are helping, technical people. But most importantly, the people that are here, they understand this place, they know it in and out. And they've been fantastic in presenting this. So we are good to go.
He also highlights some of its potentials and benefits to the nation.
You see, Ajaokuta itself is a hub. What we're talking about, these economic corridors, is creating economic hubs, and then of course the corridors are between them. It's so vast, it's big, it's massive. What you can generate from Ajaokuta in terms of economic opportunities, both upstream and downstream. There are a lot of people who feed into Ajaokuta. There are about 13 minerals. I mean, these are entrepreneurs who are bound to make money. Once they can satisfy the requirements, they bring in all this raw material. Ajaokuta produces steel. When Ajaokuta produces, liquid steel, then there's a lot of downstream effects as well. So it's going to spin a lot of industries, local, big industry, foundries. They're going to feed from Ajaokuta. All Ajaokuta needs is to produce. Once Ajaokuta produces, then all these other people feed from the products that's coming from Ajaokuta. And Ajaokuta is like designed in 3 phases. It's going to scale up, double on the second phase, and then double on the third phase, from 1.3 to 2.6 to 5.2 metric tons. So it's a hub on its own. But then the beauty of it again is, they say we're trying to create a ceiling. That's the patented word now. I mean, registered company, using the internal waterways to move things, because that's the cheapest mode of transportation. We've got the rail that's dedicated to Ajaokuta, runs from Ajaokuta here all the way to Itakpe, all the way to Warri, that's the Delta Steel, which of course is being extended to Warri Port. And of course it's also been extended to Abuja. So the rail is in place. But then something cheaper than the rail is the waterway. And that's been developed. That's the beauty of it. The waterway has been developed. And along these corridors, the waterway, the rail lines, this is where the economic corridors will come in. People can feed into the rail to bring things to Ajaokuta to take things out. Ditto with the waterway. Using the internal waterways, you can feed into the waterway to bring things into Ajaokuta and to take things out. And I'm just excited at the possibility and what the future holds for Nigeria with Ajaokuta.
The tour of the 2 companies reveal huge potentials, enormous opportunities in terms of job creation, wealth creation, foreign exchange earnings, and much more. The determination of government at all levels will ensure success. This indeed is a project that is too big to fail.
Now, you can see that all hope is not lost for the Ajaokuta Steel Company. After 40 decades, it's finally going to be revived, and this will contribute immensely to our nation's economy. Our time is far spent, so it's time to go. You can visit our social media platforms. I am Chioma Ikejani. Stay safe and goodbye.